Alright, what's up you beautiful people? So today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. We got the weekly close coming up for Bitcoin in about 5 hours and 27 minutes and 40 seconds to be exact. So stay tuned if you want to know where I think Bitcoin is going in the very near future. Alright, so here we go. Here's Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Let's move this setup. Well, yeah, let's remove it. So what do we have here? Let's god damn, I can't listen to music and talk to you guys at the same time. It gets me all fucking weird in the head. Where can I pause the music? Right, there we go. Alright. We're a great start, huh? I always tend to fuck up the beginnings, which is unfortunately unfortunate. Yeah, English is not my main language, obviously, and let's just leave it. Never mind. The weekly. This is the weekly time frame. Oh god damn it! So we had this massive, crazy pump here for Bitcoin, right? And like you gotta zoom out once in a while and take a look at the higher time frames. And what we're seeing right here for Bitcoin is actually it's still on a weekly downtrend, right? And how am I judging this, right? Well, looking at this, right, it's very clearly you get high. Well, yeah, it's a stupid example, but you get what I'm saying, right? We have weekly downtrend with lower lows and lower highs, right? So it's not until we actually break above this area, which is around 10.5k, that we will start a potentially new high time frame uptrend for Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying we can't get a nice move to trade, but as an investor, I think you got to be mindful of this, and as a trader too, of course. But I mean, as a trader, you can take trades on low time frames. You can, trade up to 10.5k and, go long up to 10.5 and then, reverse your position and go short. That sort of stuff you can do as a trader. But as an investor, I think you have to be very careful with going all in, so to say, on Bitcoin at this level, because you have, this high needs to be taken out before we start another, massive uptrend for Bitcoin. And why is the weekly so important? Well, let me show you why it's important, right? If you zoom out even more, you will see that the weekly time frame for Bitcoin is the time frame that have caught or have captured, or I don't know how to explain it, but captured or framed the trend pretty nicely, right? So let me show you once again with this screenshot tool. But wait, I like this tool. It's called Lightshot, and it's absolutely fantastic to take quick screenshots of the screen and do work like this, right? So here's the weekly uptrend here, right? We had this parabolic, massive, super crazy fucking run to 20k. We broke this one and entered a weekly downtrend, right? We started our weekly uptrend here, and we are now once again in a weekly downtrend. If we break above here, it should be pretty obvious why that level is important. Why I don't even think I need to add any horizontals to this chart. You can pretty clearly see that this is a very important area from a historic perspective too, but also why, like, breaking this area will hopefully pivot into a high time frame bull trend, right? So what I want to say is, even with this massive pump we just had here, I think it's about 120% move from the bottom, it's still in a downtrend, right? So Bitcoin is high time frame bearish still, but I'll show you what I'm looking at for potential, I think this is insanely bullish for Bitcoin. And if this can continue upwards, I mean, I'm obviously looking for a retrace on this type of move, because usually when you have this crazy move, price tends to, with time, retrace back down to breakout points. That's when you're going to get your your high probability trades with long the first retest of the breakout point after the breakout, obviously, like longing the last high pre-breakout, like this area or this area, confident with I mean, if you look at this breakout point here, it's confluent with the 200 SMA on the daily, the 200 exponential moving average on the daily, the 21 EMA on the weekly, the 21 EMA on the daily, the daily 99 EMA, and the daily 55 EMA is all together in this area here. So it's from a high time frame perspective. If you want to fill some bids for if you want to fill your bags, your heavy Bitcoin bags. I think layering some bid, doing some DCA dollar cost average strategy down like this, where you basically buy on the way down to average into your position to try to get an average entry around this area. I think that in long term would be very good, right? And where would this idea be wrong? Well, I think it would be wrong if we first of all, if we start to close below this area, like daily open and closes below this area, we go up and do a bearish retest of this area and continue lower, and we take at this area. That's when I'm gonna start to feel like this was just a fake pump having fake out or whatever. Basically, if we break below this area, I'm looking at much lower prices. Very likely that we are going to go sub 3k or at least 3k to touch this area here. Why is that important? Well, it's this low down here, confluent with this support and this resistance here, right? So I think this is the make it or break it moment for Bitcoin, right? I've got this red box resistance marked out here. This is the red box resistance. This is the resistance that needs to be taken out for this weekly downtrend to end and for us to enter a new bullish weekly uptrend, right? But we have a couple of levels in front of that before we can actually take out that level. So if, let's say we never retrace and we never come down and test this area, right? We just continue upwards. So how would that look, right? How would that look? Well, I'm thinking if we break, as you can see here, I got this range marked out here on 4 hour. I'll also add on the setup that I removed in the beginning. This is something that I'm looking at on the lower time frames, right? I want to see a bearish retest of range EQ. The safest way to play this would probably be to wait for this 4 hour candle. If this 4 hour candle closes below, you could wait for a rounded retest of range EQ to short the first retest and hope that it's a bearish retest, and hopefully you go down and test range low, right? And that's a potential trade I'm looking at, and I would probably keep some of this position open, and if, like, in case we break range low for this type of move, like we break range low, can't come up and for a bearish retest, we then go down and try a test of the breakout area down here, right? So that's a potential trade I'm looking for Bitcoin. But how would the potential upside look for Bitcoin? Well, we need obviously to break range high or this general area right here, right? So that's what I'm watching. We break above this area, and that's probably going to give us a decent move, like a 10% move up into this region up here, where we will test the high of, I think, was this the high of the channel pump? I think this was the channel pump, right? Was it? Yeah, that's the channel pump. So, well, it's the same high. So the last local high, basically. So that's what I'm looking for, right? This area up here. So break range high, I'm looking for a 10% move up to around 10.2 to 10.5k, right? And that's going to be your high time frame resistance. I expect a very heavy reaction here if we come up to trade this. But if we if we get a daily open and close above this area and we reclaim this as support, man, I'm super bullish for Bitcoin in the long term. That's going to be amazing, because that's going to be our first potential weekly uptrend in a long time, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Man, I'm really looking forward to that. But right now, what I'm looking for is, I want to, I don't own a lot of Bitcoin right now, because I want to buy some more down here. I want to buy more above here or more below here. So I would like to, add some buys here, right? somewhere right here, here, and down in this area, right? And I would try to get my, like I would even out the buy so that my average entry would be down in this area, right? And I would start to average out of my position if we fail to hold this area as support. So that's my plan for Bitcoin going forward. Hopefully you guys find these types of quick updates useful. So I'm going to try to keep the Bitcoin updates as quick or as short as possible, so that I can get as much information as possible in a short amount of time, because I think like most people that view my channel are traders, and as a trader I know that time is one commodity, an asset that you can't get enough of, right? I mean everybody wants more time. So I do understand that your time is very precious, and I do very, very much appreciate that you are giving me some of that time by watching this video. So I will try to be, you know, give something back, and I will try to squeeze as much information as possible into shorter clips. And I will try to cut out all the noise and all the bullshit and just try to keep it, you know, from a trader to a trader, right? So to sum it up, I think we are most likely heading down to the breakout point, and I will add some spot buys for Bitcoin going down, and I will short the move down. Either short the retest of range EQ or short the retest of a breakdown or retest of range low. For the upside, I'm looking for range high to break to the upside, retest like that, exit the position up here, and if we reclaim this area, I'm gonna buy more Bitcoin. Obviously, spot Bitcoin. I'm obviously, you know, very bullish on Bitcoin going forward. And I would probably, like, for any big positions and a big spot buys, I would probably wait for, I guess, a weekly close above this area. If we make another weekly high, that's when I think the new weekly super bull trend for Bitcoin has begun. All right, guys. So thanks for joining, and see you next time. Take care.